Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys. I really think it's a great video because it's really going to promote silver and your thinking on precious metals right now. Because we're seeing some of y'all might know him as a legend. I'll be honest, he is one of the main people that I used to listen to when I first started stacking. And when he comes out and puts out a message, I always tend to listen, even though I don't hear from him that much anymore. I don't know. He doesn't have his YouTube channel anymore that I know of. And so when I heard him put out an announcement recently, literally only about, well, now it's 24 hours ago. I'm pretty excited about his announcement. A great talk he did. He put it on Silver, Wall Street Silver, and it made me excited. And it kind of goes into sync with what I've been saying. It goes into sync with a recent analysis that I got from X Factor. So I'm pretty excited where we're going to see silver going. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about one of the things on, I don't know how to say this because I think there's a big move that's about ready to happen. And I don't really like that they're promoting a big purchase at the end of the month, waiting until the very last day. But I'm going to give you guys the pros and cons of waiting until the last day of the month. And I don't like to be in sync with everybody else. If everybody is doing one thing and they're advertising it, to me, it's like advertising your battle plans. And so we're going to talk about some of this today. I know it sounds a little different if you're new to the channel. However, you're going to really get it real quick if you will follow it. So enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. I think we're about ready to make one of the bigger moves on silver. I know some people said, I doubt we're going to see that, but I'm going to show you guys why. And hit that thumbs up button, help me out. And also, John and anybody else that is not getting my replies, please make it to the end of the video, or at least fast forward to the end of the video. I have your answer on why you're not getting my replies. I actually looked into it. I actually reported it to YouTube. So I think I have the answer for you. With that being said, let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Check out all of our great videos as we do post every day. And we try to keep you guys up to date on not just gold, silver. We talk about prepping. We talk about homesteading. We talk about raising animals like chickens, that type of stuff. However, I will be honest, I've only been focusing on gold and silver because I think we're about ready to see a huge move in that right now. Okay, so what came out? Some of y'all may know Chris Dawn, I think is how he pronounces his last name. So this is Wall Street Silver that you're looking at right now. This is a Reddit page. It's something that it's a group of people like us that think like us that promote gold and silver, specifically silver, but they do like precious metals. And as you can see, people are always posting little pickups that they get, whatever it is, and they encourage each other and they talk about stuff and they post a lot of analysis. And recently, some of y'all know him. Where is it? Right here. Chris Dunn, who he used to talk a lot about silver bullet, silver shield on YouTube. He ended up making his own series of coins that come out, I guess, every week or every month. I guess he still makes the coins because these are the two new ones that just launched. It would probably be impossible to find all of them at this point. However, they're a little bit of a higher premium. However, they're really cool coins, and it's neat if you had been stacking from the beginning. Unfortunately, I was not into these in the beginning, and I kind of don't want to get started late, but they're pretty cool. But needless to say, what he came out and just explained is they're about ready to do a huge silver squeeze on March 31st. Now, we're going to look at that date on the calendar in a quick minute, but what that basically means is they are promoting that everybody in the Wall Street Silver Group, everybody in the silver stacking community group, go out and make a purchase on that day, on the 31st. And the hope is we as a whole will drive the price of silver finally over that $35 11-year high. Now, there's a couple things I want people to think about in this. Now, first of all, everybody buying silver, it's a good thing. I believe purchasing silver is going to put you in a really good position. He does a really good job hyping up where silver is going to go. And I think that's, to a certain point, I think that's important, because I do believe that silver is going to go a whole lot higher. I think people can't fathom where silver is going to go. And some people like me want to take the safe approach. Like when I say $50 silver, I mean, to me, that is a no-brainer. I'm not even risking it. Some people tell me, oh, you're risking it saying $50 silver. No, I'm not. I think silver is going to go a whole lot higher. It's just a matter of time before we break the short position. And eventually, when it does break, it's going to be like the Wall Street Bets group that all started getting into GameStop. And I think people can't even fathom or understand what happened with GameStop. GameStop was heavily shorted by huge hedge funds, and they kept manipulating the price of GameStop lower and lower and lower. Well, one YouTuber came out one day and started promoting GameStop, and he had a big following. And they actually made a movie on this. If you haven't seen the movie Dumb Money, I recommend you go see it. It's a really good movie. And it's fun to watch, and it's funny. And all of a sudden, we start seeing the price of GameStop climb. And how many people use Robinhood is huge. All these young kids started putting $50, $100 on GameStop. Now, individually, any of our purchases could be essentially, we could be all squished out of the game individually. It would take nothing for them to overshadow our purchases. But as a whole, when the whole community started buying GameStop, it threw the price astronomically higher. And it actually bankrupted some of these huge hedge funds, to the point where that YouTuber had to go to Congress and testify, because they were like, were you manipulating, trying to cause all this to happen? And, you know, because companies went out of business. He goes, no, they were the corrupt ones. They were the ones manipulating it lower. It was a good stock, and he had grown up with it, and it pushed it higher. And that's kind of the same thing with silver that's going on right now. Silver fair price is not what we see on the spot price. If this was the fair price, people would be selling it for this price. No dealer, no bullion company. You're lucky if you can find someone that has some. I was about ready to make maybe what might have came across as a little derogatory. It's hard to find anybody selling it for this. It's almost impossible, because the price should be higher. But because of this, it does make it a certain confidence game, because even when you see silver at $36, you wonder, well, I need it to go to, if you really understand it, you need it to go to $36 before you can make your money back if you're buying it at $36. The truth of the matter is, silver should be astronomically higher. And what we've seen is at the end of every financial quarter, there's usually a beatdown in the price of precious metals. And I really am convinced that we are right around that time frame right now. Let's zoom out at 6 months, and you can see how silver really started climbing. And then all of a sudden, we see it get beat all the way down to $28.75 right here as the month comes to an end. And as you can see right there, look at that. December 31st, that's the end of the fourth financial quarter, the 31st of December. And then all of a sudden, as soon as that day hits, the next day we start seeing the climb. And this ain't just that day. This is every 3 months we see this. And that's exactly what we're on fire right now, as we got as high as $34.20 roughly, only to see it start coming down as they're positioning for the end of the month. And if I was to compare this area up here to this area, I would literally say, look at this. December 12th, we started seeing the fall, and then we saw it go sideways a little bit. We seen it drop, And then all of a sudden, as soon as it hit here, it hit so much resistance of buying. People were buying. They knew that was a good deal, that huge pullback. So it popped. But they came out and they tried shorting it again on the last day to not be able to do anything. Look, and all it did was caused it to pop and then instantly continue on higher. Now, do you see little pullbacks, periodically? Of course you do. But we're looking at that drop right now. Now, what do I think could happen here? I would not be surprised to see another little bit of a drop. I would love to see us get down to 32.50 again. We saw 32.50 the other day, and then it experienced huge purchasing. Obviously, people are going to purchase the lower it goes. I know I wished I had not gone to bed. I bought when it hit exactly 33. I was ready to buy. I bought a big order, and then I went to bed, and literally all of a sudden it went a little bit lower, and I was kind of disappointed. I would not be surprised if we see that again, test that area. However, what's going on though? I mean, here's the thing. They can beat it down temporarily, but eventually it's going to pop. And I was actually just reading a silver analysis from X Factor, who sent it to me, and he said, the data that's coming out now is pointing to $37 or $38 within the next 60 days. Now, I don't even think it's going to happen in the next 60 days. I would not be surprised to gamble and say we're going to see it in the next 30 days after the first of the month. Because obviously the first of the month, they've got to clear out, and it's not going to happen until them short positions clear out. Now, one thing that I wanted people to see is when you look at the calendar, the official last day of the month, just like I showed you, at the last day of every month, we always see these big dips on quarter months. So it has to be the end of the first quarter, the end of the second quarter, the end of the third, the end of the fourth. That falls on a Monday. So it kind of worries me a little bit if the short covering won't happen on Sunday night the 30th. But the problem with that is if they're trying to coordinate a huge buying rally on the 31st, I'm not convinced that they can risk pushing the price down lower that close. Because there are going to be a lot of people that are going to get into this, and they're going to want to make their purchases specifically on the 31st. And I personally don't like buying when everybody else is buying. Now, you're going to probably see huge bullion dealers buying because they're going to be under big pressure from everyday customers buying. And so they're going to have to replace that inventory. They're going to be already putting in orders. At the same time, I'm convinced that the big banks will try to already have covered their position. Now, will they try to cover on that day? I think it would be a huge mistake. I saw when I was reading a lot of the posts that people had posted about that, a lot of them were saying, watch if the price don't plunge on that day. Here's the thing. If the price goes down, we get more for our money. By getting even more for our money when it's about ready to pop the next week, then essentially I'm fine with that. However, I don't want to personally wait until that day to risk. I would not be surprised if we see in the middle of the night, usually at the 4 a.m. time frame, the price of silver plunge, and that's it. And then we start seeing it take off maybe a little bit sooner. But all the data is pointing to higher silver prices next month. Now, I want to be in it, obviously, because of that. I'd rather get my orders in now. And if somebody tells me, it went down another 50 cents. Oh, well, at the end of the day, it really doesn't bother me. I mean, I'd like to catch the ultimate low for the month. But if I don't catch the ultimate low, am I going to cry about it? No, because where silver's going, we're going to be the winners in the end. Now, when you watch all of that post by Chris, he does talk a little bit about a 1-to-1 ratio on gold to silver. And I'm a firm believer that some of the stuff he says is valid. The fact that, in the old days you had a 15-to-1 ratio, but now with a lot of the silver mines getting depleted, it's getting harder and harder to pull silver. You're seeing that ratio of gold to silver coming out of the ground closer to 6 or 7 to 1. Now, that's a valid claim. You're also seeing more and more people holding silver and more companies just wasting it. So the idea of all silver is getting wasted, I probably wouldn't go to that extent. But silver is definitely getting wasted. And all of the gold is literally getting saved. Think about it. Every ounce of gold in existence is pretty much still in existence. The people that bought the gold, they mine the gold keeps consolidating in a stronger and stronger hand. Someone is acquiring more and more gold. That's not really happening as much with silver. There's a lot of us out there that are silver stackers, and we're trying to increase our stacks. And you can see that when you comb through a lot of these posts and people show, hey, this person just picked up this today. This person just picked up this today. If you see me no sell, that's kind of a giveaway that they're running right now. If you post a picture of your silver and the me no sell sticker, then you might win something. But we're seeing a lot more silver getting picked up. More and more people are holding silver. And it's really cool when you look through these posts. I really love Wall Street Silver. They do it's a great community. This was cool, but I can't show it. If I show it, I'll get in trouble. I tried showing you all a video from the pianist the other night, and my video got demonetized. I got in trouble. So they said, no, you can't show a clip. And all it was a clip where a couple of people sitting at a table, they're throwing gold coins down on the table, and they ask them to stop playing the piano for a few minutes. That way they could hear the noise that the real gold was making versus the watered down gold. And then they wanted to spend the watered down gold. And that comes down to Gresham's law. For those of you that don't know what that is basically bad money will drive out good money. The good money always goes into hiding. Good money is gold and silver. That's why you don't find silver quarters or silver half dollars as much in existence now, because a lot of them have been bought up and held, and they're not coming back into the system. So I want people to understand where silver is probably going to go by the end of the month, and where silver will probably go next month. Now, how high will it go next month? I would not be surprised to see $37 silver. The analysis that I'd gotten from X Factor said $37, $38 silver within the next 60 days. I wouldn't really be surprised to see $37 silver next month, but I think saying 60 days is a safer play. But what I'm factoring in is $37 silver is less than $4 away. Think about that for a minute. $4. We're not even talking, I would say if I had to estimate that, $3.30 would be 10%, which means we only need about a 13% climb. We've seen on crazy days 5% in one day. Once we break 35 again, it's going to be continued momentum. Now, granted, the short positions are going to come out, and they're not going to want to see us beat that record, because if we do, more and more people are going to be talking about it and wanting to get in. And already there's no hiding gold. I mean, yeah, we're not seeing it. I mean, we're seeing it up, but we're seeing it kind of go almost sideways right now as we're sitting at $3,018. But I think more and more people are going to talk because the jump is coming. Real quick, I want to take a look and see what's going on with the U.S., the DXY index. As you can see, the DXY index is creeping up. And I would expect that they will need to drive the DXY up between now and the end of the month. And the reason that they have to do that is it's a whole lot easier to push the price of gold and silver down if the dollar appears to be stronger. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And a lot of people aren't talking about this because it's slowly moving higher. I think we're probably going to see it jump up to 107 before the month comes to an end. Something will happen that everybody's going to be like, oh, the dollar's great, this and that. That's what they're going to be saying. It's getting stronger. Here's the thing. The truth of the matter is they're debasing the dollar just like every other currency. And we're seeing it. we're seeing people move out of basically dollars, and move into other assets. And unfortunately, one of them assets is Bitcoin. But I'm convinced Bitcoin is going to take a big hit sooner or later. I know some people might say, oh, you've said that for a while now. Here's the thing. We've seen Bitcoin get all the way up to 110,000. The fact that it's at 86 right now, it took a hit. I mean, and some people are saying it's a buying opportunity. If it was such a buying opportunity, it wouldn't be trading sideways. It would instantly be popping up. We're not seeing that. We're seeing a lot of sideways trading now. Moving on, the Dow Jones, it looked good today. I mean, up 1.5%. It went up 597 points. You would expect that as we are getting ready to close out the financial quarter. You would expect to see dollar-based assets going higher and gold and silver going lower. Why? So they can record the higher numbers so it doesn't look as bad. But even if you put in a bunch of money short time, them people that put that in, they're probably going to be pulling their money out pretty quick and hope that people are convinced that it's going to go higher and things are changing, and then they're going to put their money in, and at the same time, the other side is going to be taking out their money. You got the NASDAQ up 104 points today, so it did do well, and by today, I mean yesterday. And the S&P 500 up, not very much really, up 5 points, not even enough to really blink an eye at. And ultimately, the debt just continuing to go higher and higher. And so there's almost no end in sight to where this is going. So with that being said, that's going to be the end of the video for the people that were watching today's video for today's video. But I wanted to take a few minutes because I had a member reach out to me and say, I'm not getting your replies. And he is a channel member, which means he of all people should be getting my replies, because I never miss comments from channel members. They go right to my phone, and so it led me to believe what is going on. And so what I wanted to do was take a quick minute, and I'm going to go to someone else's channel that I'm subscribed to. This is Kevin Williams. If you guys want, help him out. I'll put a link in the description below. Go and subscribe to his channel. He's sitting on 449 subs right now. Let's see if we can get him over 500 by the next 24 hours. And I'll check this again tomorrow, and if we go over 500, I'll announce it. But I'd like to see him get over 500. He's a pretty good guy. He follows the channel. He does videos on prepping, gold, silver, a lot of what I talk about, but he also talks about pew-pews, which I don't really get into that because that's I'm monetized by YouTube, which means they can put commercials on my videos. So if I talk about something they don't like, then I can get in trouble. But if I wasn't monetized, like when I wasn't, I was always showing mine off. So needless to say, what I want people to understand is if you're not seeing replies from me, then you can come up here on a computer. If you're on a cell phone, you go to someone's channel page. In this case, I'm going to Kevin Williams. In your case, you would go to my main T-Square Talk page. Up here, you will either see your icon or you will see whoever's channel you're looking into. If you're on a cell phone, then you'll see 3 dots. Once you click on that, you will scroll down and you will see settings right here. So here is the settings. Now, if I click it, it's going to show personal information. I can't click it in front of everybody while you guys are seeing it. Once settings comes up, it's going to come up that now you have a bunch of information all over the screen. What you want to click is notifications. And then after notifications, then you want to make sure that comments, all that stuff's turned on, replies. I keep all of my stuff off here. I'm actually going to talk to you for a quick minute, but I'm actually going to change the screen so I can tell you exactly what it's going to say. So, actually, hopefully you didn't see nothing too personal on that. I already showed it, though. What did you see? Okay, it ain't nothing. What is that? I'm making sure you guys ain't seeing anything too personal like passwords. You're seeing my Diet Coke, my chip wrapper, and some notes. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to have you look at this for a quick minute. And then I am going to go into oh, you still see what I'm looking at. What in the world? New screen test. I don't know how to do this now. Okay, you're looking at that screen caption. I guess you're going to look at this for a quick minute. Okay, just for a quick minute while I see and I can tell you guys what the settings are. Real quick, once you go to settings, you go to either the icon in the top that I just showed you or the three dots. Then you're going to go to settings. Once you click on settings, off to the side, you should see somewhere it says notifications. Once you hit notifications, then it's going to say your preferences. You want to make sure you're getting notifications. A lot of times people will turn these off because they either don't want their phone beeping when I put up a video, or they don't want every time someone replies to a comment, your phone beeping or shooting you a message. But you want to make sure you can set it to be silent, but you want to make sure that you're getting notified, you're getting the comments, if someone subscribes to your channel, if you have a channel, you want to be notified maybe of it. I get notifications when you subscribe to my channel. That way I can see who's subscribing. I want notifications on videos that they think that I might like. Any activity on my channel, I like to be notified of it. Anytime somebody replies, I like to be notified of it. You'll see all the notifications and stuff right there. And once you start doing that, you should start seeing the comments. I really feel bad that someone has had this problem for a little while. I actually ended up reporting it to YouTube, and I said, what's going on here? So I want to make sure that people are getting. I'm one of them people that I spend a lot of time. The people that are subscribed to my channel, you watch regularly, you probably have left me a comment, and you know that I am pretty good about trying to reply to everything. I literally spend 2 or 3 hours a day replying to hundreds of comments. I make it a point, if you're a member, to always reply to members' comments. Your comments are directed right to my phone. I try to keep up with them. Obviously, if I'm asleep, I'm not going to get it right off, but I make it a point to keep up with them of all. But I also keep up with comments from other people, just not as up to date, I'll be honest. Right now I'm a few days behind on comments, and so it's hard to keep up when you've got, I don't know, 35, well, it says here 2,100 videos, but that's because I took down over 1,500 videos that had me on there, because I want to be a little bit more private, as silver and gold are going to new all-time highs. I don't necessarily want too many people to stalk me. I don't know if it will get there. Unless it's female. I shouldn't say that. I should stay professional. I was about ready to make a joke, but some of y'all probably even know what I was about ready to say. But needless to say, obviously I do try to stay a little private. With that being said, I thank you all for watching and commenting. Please hit that thumbs up button if you made it this long. And I apologize for those last 5 minutes of that video. I know someone out there is going to be like, we didn't need to hear all that. But that's why I said the video was pretty much over 5 minutes ago. So that way, if someone didn't want to listen to that part, they didn't have to. It was more directed to the people that have left me comments saying they're not getting my replies. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I would definitely keep an eye on the prices. I think the opportunity is going to be a whole lot more expensive come next month. So I would take full advantage of it right now if you can. But that's not any recommendation. That's my personal thoughts. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, nor should anything I say be considered as such. With all investment comes risk, and I'm happy to risk my money on gold and silver. Take care, everybody. Keep stacking, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Have a great one.